sure.
So tell me more about Nude Prints. Like, I'm so excited about this between you and Sophia. I'm like, you guys want to redo my entire living room. Like, I have like pieces. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get this when that couch comes. Like, how did this start?
Tell on my wall, I have actually masking tape that shows me which print is what size, so that way when people ask like, oh, what does it look like, I've got at least a visual of what it looks like.
Nice. That is genius. That is smart.
Yeah, I tried. But yeah, I've always been an artist. Like, I've always loved art. I've always been super creative. I've always been good with graphic design and graphic arts. And Sophia told me a million times, sis, you need to be doing this. You need to be doing that. I'm like, like I was just always so hard on myself about my work, and I always felt like it's not good enough. It's not good enough. So she would tell me a million times, just go for it, just go for it. And I would always kind of just like disregard it. Like, I knew I was good. I knew I was decent, but I was like, I don't know if it's good enough. And then I had this idea to have like my own candles, and I started doing the candles. And then I had lost my job with COVID, and like, with this, I had to invest my money with my candles. Like, I had to invest money, and then the unemployment was about to cut off. So I was like, I need to figure out a way that I'll be able to make money without having to spend too much money. So I had been wanting an iPad for a while. And so I was like, I told my husband, I was like, listen, I need to get this iPad because I have this idea where I can make my own drawings and have like be able to make art for the walls. Like, I could do that. I could make my own stickers. I could make my own planners. Like, I could be very creative on the iPad and make it into something without having to invest money aside from the iPad. Like, I won't have to buy products. I won't have to have inventory. I won't have to have all this stuff. So I just need to get this iPad. So we got up one day, we went to T-Mobile, and we just got the iPad. And at that point, like, I had to start practicing, and I started it. And then at first I couldn't figure out what I wanted to draw, what I wanted it to be. So I started looking for inspiration, and I just came across like these African paintings and artwork. And I'm just like, you know what? I want artwork like this. Like, I haven't seen, me personally, I haven't been able to see like art that resonates within me, like Afro-Latina and like Black art and stuff that I really enjoy, that would look nice in my house and that I really felt would look really good. So like the only stuff that I would ever see was stuff that was like at the dollar store, and it was kind of like, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start making my own. So I actually showed Sophia a couple of inspirations. She was like, yo, you need to do this. And as soon as I started, it just felt right. Like, it just felt like I was on the right path at that point. So that's where it just started. And then I was like, when I was thinking for a name, and I'm like, yo, I have no idea what I'm going to name this at all. And I was in the shower one day just laying on the floor like, God, just talk to me. Tell me. And I just started thinking of the color schemes that I'd be using, and everything was pretty much a nude. And you know, back in the day, you think about nude colors and you just think of like the blushy pink, the pale light tans and stuff like that. But a lot of the time people, or at least now it's more well known, but like there was a point in time where brown wasn't considered a nude, like dark brown and chocolate. And so for me, I was like, you know what, all of the colors that I use are in that nude base. Like, I'm pretty much using all nude colors, and whether it's a nude, a neutral, or black and white, it's something that will go with pretty much any space. So at that point, I was like, I feel like I could reach and speak to a lot of different people with those types of colors. So nude just stuck with me, and I was like, you know what? Also with Nude Prints, I feel like it's a little bit of kind of, I guess you could say, clickbait, because you think about it, it's like nude prints. Like,
it's definitely catchy, because I was like, oh, Nude Prints, what's this about?
Let me check this out. So I thought about that. I was like, you know what? I don't know. Like, Nude Prints is just sticking with me. So that was where it started.
Yeah,
Me
so very nice. And I looked at them and like although like yes, your base is like nude, I also like the fact that you add like the pop of color because it makes it nice and pretty. And I'm
too.
like, ooh, and then I feel like it just makes it like almost kind of universal. Like you don't necessarily have to change
Yeah.
like all your furniture in your house. It's just like it's a nice what is it, accent pieces.
Accent, yeah, it
So
definitely
they're
adds a
really
little
cute.
something. And on top of that, it's something different. Like it's not something that you would find really in any store or something like that. Like you would have to actually get it. You can either have it custom made or you can, buy one that's already made. It's something that it's like a conversation piece. Like somebody walks into your house like, oh my God, where did you get this from? This is so cute. Like
Yes.
not even realizing that it could actually be a picture of that person. Like if you bought one and then you wanted to send me a picture of you that I can actually do of you, then the person walking in like, oh my God, that's so nice. And you're like, oh, it's me. Like,
Oh wow, that's really nice. That makes like for
yeah,
like a really nice like gift for like the holidays coming and
exactly,
stuff.
definitely.
That's really sweet.
It does
I
good for
like
like,
that.
especially I think like I actually just finished a piece of a pregnant lady, and
Aw.
I was like, this would actually do really good, I think, in like a baby's room, like of the
Yeah.
mother and what, her pregnancy and all of that. It's a good baby shower gift. It's a good, just like it's for any occasion. You could do a family portrait. You could do pretty much anything with it. You could do your dog, like anything.
Nice. That is sweet. And it's multifunctional. I
Hmm.
like that. Very
Can
cool.
even you can even gift it to a man, a woman, like it could be for anybody. It could be for anybody.
Yes, I definitely love that concept. It's one for all. So what was your biggest lesson that you feel like you've learned like through your entire process of starting up Nude Prints?
I think so far, which I actually just kind of learned this week, is that never to undervalue yourself. Because at times, like me and Sophia were actually just talking about this. Like the way our mentality is, we're cheap people. You know what I'm saying? Like we want to get something, and when we're buying something, we're thinking cheap. Like, okay, I gotta make my dollar stretch.
Right.
So when it comes to making your business, automatically it feels like you you have that cheap mentality. So it's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to try to make this at the lowest price because I'm a cheap person. So I want to make this cheap for other people too. But then at the same time, it's like you can't really think like that anymore. You have to, it's not that you're trying to rip people off because, there's obviously a line where I'm not about to pay $17 million for
Yeah.
a little line or something, but there comes a point where it's like you can't just think about your products in that cheap way because
Right.
those who want to buy it will buy it. If
Mm-hmm.
it's out of another person's bracket, then it's out of a person's bracket or what they're willing to spend on something. But for somebody that really genuinely values a product or a service or anything like that, whatever you feel that value is for whatever service you're giving or product, name that price and price it fairly for yourself. Don't undervalue what you're doing because you're gonna kind of cut yourself short.
Yeah. No,
Like
I
I know
absolutely agree.
I had like a marketing this guy that I worked with one time, and he does marketing and whatnot. He was the one that really woke me up, even though Sophia had already been telling me this again. But he like woke me up. He was like, yo, you're selling your stuff for way too cheap. He's like, you're doing custom work. So your custom work should reflect, like the price should reflect the work that you're putting into it. And
Right.
you're selling way too cheap. So at that point we got to talking and I realized like, wow, like Sophia was right. I'm undervaluing myself and I need to get out of that mindset because you do have to just you're working hard, and especially when you're a small business owner, you're working more than you are at a regular job. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm working, I wake up and I'm working as soon as I wake up, like, and I'm still doing everything else I got to do, but it's like my mind is 100% on my business at this point. So you go to sleep, you wake up, and it's work. So at that point, value yourself at that. You're working more than 40 hours now at this point. So yeah, I learned to not
I
to undervalue.
completely agree with that sentiment. because I forgot what I was doing, but like the conversation came up where they felt like, you know, people in the Black and brown community, like we charge too much for our services. And I'm like, no, if you're willing to pay X amount of dollars for a big brand, like, why would you feel like I would be any different? Like, I put, as you said, like, I put time, this is my value, this is what I feel like my worth is. Like, I'm providing a service or a product. Like, it's either for you or it's not. But then, like, don't then turn around and try to make it seem like I should shortchange myself to appease you. If, you know, if I'm not attracting you, then I'm just not, you know, the person for you, and that's fine, you know?
Right.
So I completely understand that like sentiment. But again, like you said, it always goes back to like the mindset. And I always feel like a lot of times we'll tell ourselves we can't do something before like someone else does, and we're our own worst critics. So, you know, if you have a strong mindset, if you're able to just take whatever it is out of your mind and apply it and make it your reality, then that's amazing. Like, and that's the mindset that you kind of need, like, to be in business for yourself ultimately.
For sure. My cousin, she's actually an interior designer, and I had sent her a couple of my prints, and she was like, wow. She's like, you are doing such a good job. And like, because she's especially in that industry, it was like a boost in confidence. I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy that you said that, because like, it just made me realize that what I'm doing is actually worth something. And she was like, you're always going to be, just like you said, your worst critic. You're always going to doubt yourself, but don't let that take over. Just keep on moving. So,
right.
So
I'm glad you kept with it and you keep striving for it. Like, I'm rooting for every person that's giving themselves a chance, because I feel like that's what you do as an entrepreneur. Like, you give yourself a chance and you see and you test yourself to see if you can live up to your fullest and truest potential. So kudos to you that you figured it out, you know, early enough. And we'll be retiring on the beach when we're like, me, you, and Sophie be like, hey, girl, hey.
Sophia always say that by next year we're gonna be on our laptops somewhere on an island and just doing our work and with an umbrella in our cup and chilling.
Yes, I completely agree. So like, do you feel like you've had a lot of support? I mean, it sounds like you had like a really good support system, like as you were going through the process. Do you feel like you always had that throughout your entire process, or it was just like some days you did and some days you didn't?
I've always had support, but I also felt like I couldn't just tell everybody everything, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't always want to tell people what I wanted to do, because I felt like if I tried it and it wasn't for me, they would like kind of judge me a little bit, because like, oh, well, you said that the last time and you said you wanted to do this and you said you wanted to do that. So I do, like, my husband, he's a really good support system. He's always down for whatever it is that I want to do. And this time around, though, I feel like the support that I've been receiving is crazy. Like, my sisters, they actually, I couldn't even believe it. The other day, they called me and they were like, you know, we really see that you love doing what you're doing, and we want to invest in your business. And they both gave me $1,000 each. And I was like, oh my God, I was crying. Yes. I could not even take it. Like, I was just I'm speechless. Like, I couldn't, like, how I felt after that was just like, this is it. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is of like the biggest transformation in my life. Like, this is going to be something that really, really sets it off for me. And I also feel like now, especially because of that, like, I just have to keep on moving. Like, I have to keep this in motion, because I got other people looking at me now like, you already doing it, just keep on flowing. Like, I feel like that support right now is just amazing. Like, and having a good support system is definitely key, because if you don't have people that are cheering you on, and like them days that you don't feel like doing anything, or you don't feel like you just want to give up, or things aren't like going the way you assumed they would go, or maybe you're not getting enough sales, you're not getting the sales that you want, or whatever the case may be, that support system is going to keep you going.
Nice. So now that you've gotten that investment, what are you gonna do with it? Like, what is your vision now for Nude Prints?
So the very first thing that I did was I got my LLC.
Nice.
And, you know, got that taken care of. I did get a couple new things for my iPad that I needed for my program, a little couple plug-in add-ons to help with my work. I know there's other businesses that I want to incorporate in with this business. Mm-hmm. So right now, like I'm still like hoarding that money so that I can like get this going, make back what I've spent so far, and then invest also in that as well. So it's going to be like Nude Prints. What I have a vision for is like Nude Prints is going to be like the top umbrella, and there's going to be little things that kind of brand out from it. Like, it's hard to really explain, but yeah, like I definitely plan on investing in other businesses as well, and just keeping this afloat. Like now right now I sell unframed prints. So now that I got my LLC, I can get like the actual frames and stuff like that, and I can drop ship those so that people can get like the full package from me, not just the print itself. So I just want to grow my business and do what I gotta do. Like I'm just excited. I want to be in Target.
Yes, well you can be.
I want to be in like a big box store. I want to be in like there's a home decor store called Living Spaces over here. I would love to be in there. Like I'm trying to branch out for sure.
Well, girl, you can make yourself a vision board, put all the places that you see, you know, Nude Prints at, however it is that you see it, whatever chain it is, and watch it grow. Just let that be your main focus, and watch your visions just start to happen. Just manifest it, and it shall be.
Hello.
I'm telling you. So how long have you been in business now?
It's only been like August 5th. So what's today? Today is
12.
So like almost a week officially.
Well, happy 1 week birthday baby business.
Thank you. But I've been like working at this specifically, I want to say for at least a month and a half. Okay. And you know, it took for me because, you know, I had to still learn what I was doing and kind of wrap my head around what I was going to do. Like even right now, I feel like things are always changing. Yeah. Like even right now, I have what I have on my website, but now that I spoke to that marketing guy that I was telling you about, I feel like I need to now revamp what I had already did. Like I need to repolish everything that I was doing. Okay. So now that's exactly what I'm working on right now. I got new prints coming. It's like not a different aesthetic, but just more detailed into what I already have. So I've got like so many wheels turning in my brain right now that like everything is just about to kind of level up basically within the business. And awesome. I mean, I may be freshly new, but I feel like I'm just learning new things every day. As the weeks go by, things are going to change. From now, I feel like what I'm looking at right now and what I'll see in a month will be two totally different things. It'll still be my brand. It'll still be what I'm working on, but it'll just be leveled up.
Nice. I can't wait to see that. I'm going to be so excited. So what advice would you give to that person that's watching that may not have an idea or just doesn't know where to start? Like what kind of advice would you offer them to just like take the plunge and just start whatever idea they have in their minds?
I would tell them to just go for, like, even if you don't think it's a good idea, you don't think it's marketable, you're not 100% sure what you want to do, just start doing anything. Like just figure it out, because one idea will branch out of another and out of another and out of another, and you'll figure it out. Just try different things. Like me and Sophia both, we've tried so many different avenues of just things that like, you're doing that, okay, I guess, like, okay, go ahead, go for it, girl. Yeah. Just move, just do something. Even if it doesn't 100% make all the way sense, just research and do what you have to do to get to the main goal. Because at the end of the day, I didn't just wake up, well, I did kind of just wake up one day and have this idea, but like, if I didn't do the other things that I did, I probably wouldn't have woken up with this idea, you know? So like I said, I was trying to do candles. And before that, I wanted to do, what was the one thing I wanted to do before that? I even forgot. But like,
it doesn't matter at this point.
I wanted to do, I know at one point I wanted to do interior design. I knew that I needed to be creative. That's all I knew. 100%, I knew that it needed to be a creative thing that I was doing that would really keep my attention. Because sometimes, like, boring stuff, it just, oh yeah, it sounds like a good idea right now. And then I'm like reading a book on it and I'm like, I'm about to fall asleep. Like, this is not for me. This is not keeping my interest. But once you find something that you just like to do, whether it's you like to garden and you like to draw, you like to help people, whatever it is that you genuinely enjoy doing, I feel like there's always something that you can find that's marketable about that thing.
Yeah.
So, and as long as you like what you're doing, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yes. Amen to that. Yes. Cool. So I have like 2 more questions. So what's, out of all the prints that you've done so far, which one is your favorite?
I'm going to say probably my newest one. Where's my iPad at? Let me see if I have it on my phone.
Let me see the newest one.
One of the newest, I have a couple actually. Hold on one second, let me go grab it. I finished all of these. That's why I be moving. So this is I don't know if you could tell.
Ooh, that's pretty. I love the colors.
That one's one of them, and probably
what was the inspiration behind that one?
I was just, honestly, I go on Pinterest and I just start looking up different stuff just for inspiration. Because sometimes it's like writing almost. Like, you get writer's block. You draw so many pictures and you just kind of like, oh, what's next? What do I do next? Yes. So I just started thinking like, you know, I'm like, let me just look on Pinterest and see what I could find and something will trigger. And I just found this pregnant lady on there and I was like, you know what? Aww. Let's go with this.
Yeah, but the spirit of life. Oh, that one's really pretty. I like that one.
So I like that one. I would probably say those 2 right now are my favorites. These are not on my website yet. They're like gonna be on there soon, probably by the end of the week. So it's part of my revamp process.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I would say those are right now. Those are probably my favorites. I have a couple more in the works, but those are probably. Nice.
No, the second one, that one was totally giving me like the 90s, like living single vibe. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know, it was just giving me like a 90s sitcom. I was like, yes, I remember those days when TV was good. And
right. It was good TV on. No, for real.
Awesome. Yeah. So where can people find you? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Instagram? What's your website?
On Facebook, I'm at Nude Prints. Instagram, Nude Prints as well. And my website is www.nudeprintshop.com.
Yes, you heard it first, ladies. This is Stephanie. So hop onto Nude Prints. I'm telling you, her artwork is like unbelievable. You've seen it yourself. Go support the girl. She's doing great things. She has a big vision for herself, and we're about to see her rise to the top and be in Target and Marshalls.
Hello.
Okay. So there you go. Well, awesome, Stephanie. It was great talking to you. It was great catching up with you. Thank you for your time. And we'll be talking.
Yes.
Yeah.